Well, Texas hockey fans, we had some fun last night in AAC. Tuesday night, Stars versus Vegas, 2-1. Stars get another win. Just a little bit of humble brag here, not to gloat or anything about it, but I learned last night. Shout out to Luke for getting this one. But I learned that after the fire sacrifice, if you haven't been tuning into Clean Sheet Advice, I did a fire sacrifice back in January to help save the Star season. The Stars are 13-1-1 since the fire sacrifice. Did I do it, Dom? Did I actually do it? I think I did it.
The Olympics kind of cleared my memory of when that was going. Also, that storm I wanted to put away from my mind. But when Luke said it, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I think Stone did it.
I thought there were more losses in there, because I remember we won the first game. We beat the hell out of the Boston Bruins, right? And then the next game we lose, and I'm like, maybe it didn't work. But then we won the next one. I was like, okay. And then we won 3 out of 4. I was like, all right, we're feeling good. I stopped keeping track when we were like 4-1 post fire sacrifice. I didn't realize we were 13-1-1. That's good stuff. I'm not going to take credit, but I might.
I would.
I said it to Sam Nessler last night post game, and he's like, "You gonna go tell them?" And it was all the guys, and all the players down the tunnel, and I was just like, I would. I was just like, hey guys, I made a fire sacrifice for you, and all of a sudden you started playing really well. Not saying it was me, but I might have had something to do with it. I'm not gonna take all the credit. I'm not on the ice, but
you make a fire sacrifice, and all of a sudden Maverick Borg is a point per game player.
A shocking development. Jake Ottinger's like 9-0, 10-0 in his last 10 starts. I don't know. Just saying, guys. Just saying. But welcome to Clean Sheet Advice, a Texas hockey podcast. If you were with us on Monday, you saw a lot of comments in the episode. Shout out to DJ Wide-Chuli for winning the Mikko Rantanen bobblehead. You still have not reached out. So reach out. You got to reach out to claim your Mikko Rantanen bobblehead. You have until the end of the week. Once we record for Monday's episode next week, it's over. We got to do a respin. So if you don't reach out by the time we record for Monday's episode, I'm doing another respin. I'm putting everybody back in, and I'm taking your name off. You don't have another chance. You have one chance. You have 1 week to claim it. Claim your Mikko Rantanen bobblehead. DJ Wide-Chuli. Thank you for entering. Thanks for everyone that tuned in. As fans told me I couldn't talk about the rest, but we're going to talk about the rest tonight because Dallas versus Vegas in the first period, they let pretty much everything go. Colin Blackwell had a hell of a rush to the goal. He hit the wide post there. He went backhand and he hits the post and doesn't lift it up a little bit. He's a little bit angry about it, but he got slashed on the play, right? That's the only penalty they called. I watched Michael Bunting get cross-checked in the back while the puck was over everyone's head. I watched a lot of hits that were very clearly well past the pass of the puck from Vegas and the Stars. Quite frankly, it was going both ways. I thought the refs were horrendous in the first period. But a lot of physicality, not a lot of shots on goal. The middle of the ice was completely packed. That is the one thing I noticed last night is when the Stars were on offense and they're in the O-zone, you can see Vegas's defense just going basically in a line. The whole center of the ice is taken away, and you're playing perimeter, and you don't have Mikko Rantanen, you don't have Roope Hintz right now, so it's a little bit not as skilled on the outsides where you can kind of thread those needles and get into the inside. The inside of the ice was impossible. Both teams were doing very well at it last night, but I just really noticed it in one period when Vegas was on the D zone, and I was like, oh, they're basically in a line. This is insane. It was crazy. So fun first period, but not a lot of action.
Yeah, no, it was this game was playing a fishbowl, and that fishbowl was a neutral ice. It was impossible to get the puck anywhere. And I think Dallas had almost 10 block shots in that first period. I don't remember how many shots we had, but it didn't feel like we had maybe a few in the first. It was just rough to get the puck in a position to even get it towards the net. But as the game went along, it kind of opened up a little bit. But the thing that stuck out to me was just the first minute of the game, we were seeing some extra, forecheck. We were seeing some extra physicality. And it didn't bother Dallas. The forwards and the D-men, they would either take that check and then go try to make a play or just kind of move on from it. And Vegas was very content on kind of holding that extra hit, finishing through everything. and the refs just kind of were okay with it. So I thought that was going to be how it was officiated the rest of the game.
And I know Avs fans told me I can't talk about the refs, but we have to talk about it last night. Pretty much everyone was talking about it in the press box. So if everyone's talking about it in the press box, I feel pretty good talking about it as the fan/journalist podcast, as opposed to a journalist podcast where you're really looking at it kind of objectively while covering the team. We're looking at it semi-objectively, semi-subjectively. All right, and this is how it is. But that first period, I don't know if you noticed it, Dom, on TV. I don't know if you could see it. But Tyler Myers, Liam Bichel, 6'8", 6'7", were hitting the same guy at the same time. There was some kind of synchronization in their brains where they're like twin telepathy, where they were like, oh, we're just gonna go mash this dude into the boards, and they would just go in and hit the guy at the same time. Just I can't imagine being my size, because some of the guys are out there that are my size, maybe 6 feet tall, like big dudes, are just getting absolutely tag team WWE style by the biggest dudes on the ice at the same time into the boards. It was hilarious. They had one shift where they threw 3 hits together, where either Leon or Tyler threw the first hit, and then the next guy came in and hit the guy from behind or to the side or whatever it was. And then there was one time where they basically collided into a guy at the same time. I thought Vegas was like, oh shit, this is a different team. That's what it felt like to me.
I mean, in basketball, there's a few teams that experiment with the double big lineup. And Tyler, I'll commend Glenn for. I think Stars fans really want him playing the 20 minutes a night now, but I completely understand why he's not doing it, because in the first period, like, you'll see moments where he's kind of not on the ice. But I think we found, like, I was very nervous of this pairing just because the speed factor, and if you make a mistake in the forward group, it's going to be tough to recover. But that's the thing, is these two guys, they don't make mistakes when they're together. So it hasn't been a lot of time together, but boy, has it looked good when they're both on the ice.
Yeah, I thought Leon probably had his best game since he came back from injury. Obviously, he just came back right after the Olympic break, so it hasn't been a ton of games, but he looked really skilled, looked really comfortable with the puck. There was one point where no one could get it into the O zone, and Liam Bichel had it, and he went to the neutral zone. He's like, fuck it, I'll take it. And with speed, and it was a pretty fun play by Leon. It's just being more confident. Leon played a little over 14 minutes. Tyler played just shy of 14 minutes, around 13:46, I think is what it was. You got to also think Tyler's learning a new system, just coming to a new team. He doesn't need to play 20 minutes yet. He needs to kind of ease into the system, just like we did at the beginning of the season. Liam Bichel also just coming back from injury after like 3 months of not playing hockey, probably needs to ease into it too. You don't need to throw him out there at 15, 17 minutes a night just yet. So I'm very comfortable with where they're at, spreading those minutes apart on the third pairing. Also, we learned yesterday that Tyler Myers said that Chaos Giraffe, his nickname in Vancouver, needs to stay in Vancouver. That is his Vancouver nickname. So it's Big Tex. Big Tex is what we're calling Tyler Myers, not Chaos Giraffe. I like Chaos Giraffe. I like Big Tex more. So we got Big Tex and Big Bish, that third pairing. They were just creating chaos every time they were out there, and it was pretty fun to watch because Vegas, we've watched them bully the Stars for years and years and years now. That's what their style of play is. They don't let anything in the middle, and then they're going to finish hits and they're going to hit hard. And we've seen the Stars just use their skill to get out of those series and all that kind of stuff in the past. Now it feels like we're playing the same game. It feels like we're taking away the middle, and we're going to be just as physical as you are. The hits were pretty close, 32-26 last night. I thought both teams were pretty physical. So that was a pretty fun first period, even though the shots were 4-3 in Vegas's favor at the end of the first period.
Yeah, and about these two pairings, it's you don't have to go out and play physical, although Bichel does, but just their physical presence on the ice will make you not want to be as aggressive as you want to be. Their length will make you not make the passes that you want to make. Like just their presence brings a factor that the Stars team has desperately wanted.
Yeah, it's a good mix. And then Jamie talked about it post game last night. He's like, that 1% may sound kind of silly to everyone else on the outside, but we know what that 1% means and what that means to us in the locker room, as a club. And it's working. Obviously, they're winning games, and they're winning games in different ways. And you can see the physicality on the ice from a team that was not physical for 3 straight years, just wasn't physical at all. So pretty fun stuff there in the first period. Then we get to the second period, and Vegas comes out hot. Their pressure was pretty crazy there the first 4, 5, maybe even 6 minutes. of the period. And obviously Jack Eichel gets one a minute and a half into the period. We've noticed these kind of longer shots on Jake Ottinger have kind of gotten through, and it's usually far side because he's coming out to a certain side and he's taken off the complete near post. It looks like Jake is trying to not give him the far side, and that's what it looked like on this play specifically. So it looked like he didn't have the near post covered, which is where Jack Eichel sniped it. There was a little bit of a screen from Miro. It was a weird shot, and it just came in. And yeah, Jake definitely wants that one back. You can't argue with that. Like, it was probably a bad one to let in. The good news is that Jake locked the fuck in right after that goal went in from Jack Eichel.
Yeah, he followed this goal up with 2 Superman saves. I want to say it was like a minute or 2 after.
Yeah.
But it's also a tough play for Jake when, I think last year was way more of an issue where it was horrendous trying to get the puck out of the D zone. I think Wyatt gets his pocket picked, and it's not like Wyatt made a bad play. It's just Vegas was very aggressive on that poke check and got it out. And we've seen Maverick, we've seen Sam do this type of play to other teams. So it's nothing new, but it's tough when you're trying to get the momentum screened over and then it gets halted by a turnover. Huge, very powerful shot from Jack, and he just rips it.
Yeah, and he thought, like, Vegas was very content with that first period. You could tell they're just like, all right, we'll play in the muck. This doesn't matter to us. The Stars, you can tell, like, hey, eventually we'll get our time. It'll be fine. Both teams weren't really worried heading into the second period, and then Vegas came out really firing. I thought that first 5 minutes from them was really, really good. And like he said, Jake locked in immediately after that. He had the shot on one side and then kind of a desperation sliding blocker save on the pad on the blocker side, or maybe it was stick side maybe. And yeah, he just kind of a desperation save and one that he needed because it was a hard shot there too, and it was hard to get back over. Hell of a save from Jake there, back to back, and then he had a few more in the next few minutes, and you're like, okay, Jake let that one in, and now he's locked. He's dialed in. It's a lot like some of the first periods that we see in the playoffs where you could just tell, like, Jake's dialed. That's what happened after the Jack Eichel goal. It was 23rd of the season. And then we could just start talking about the rest, because then, like, Rasmus Anderson gets one for high sticking on Wyatt Johnston. It was high sticking, maybe a little bit of a flop from Wyatt, but it hits his face. All right. And I don't know what lumber feels like on the nose, so I have no idea. So it probably didn't feel good. So maybe you do throw your head back. You get that one. Liam Bichsel gets 2 minutes for interference on Jack Eichel. A little tic-tacky, but I understand why they called it. Nick Dowd, another 2 minutes for high sticking on Liam Bichsel. Get it. It's high sticking. You can't avoid that one. And then we get Thomas Harley tripping on Ivan Barbashev. He was already kind of falling, and then there was a stick barely on Thomas Harley's end on the tip of the blade where he was already falling. They call that one. It is what it is. And then Ivan Barbashev slashing on Maverick Bourque there at the end of the period. Another tic-tacky call. It went both ways, to where we had one penalty in the first period, which may or may not have been deserved, but they called slashing and it was on a breakaway. So it makes sense. To 5 penalties in the second period, where they weren't calling anything in the first, to where they were calling everything in the second. And that's where I was just like, all right, you can't just switch it mid-game. We're going to play the physical game. We're going to let everything go. It's playoff atmosphere. That's the game that we're playing. And then all of a sudden in the second period, you could see everyone just being like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, you can't just switch what you were calling in the first period in the second period, unless you're going to tell us, like, hey, we let it go in the first. We're going to start calling shit in the second, which I doubt happened. Like, it kept happening. There was penalty after penalty after penalty. It was gross. It was a gross second period.
Yeah, I love the Stars fans, because in that first period, when they see a call, they let the refs know. Like, there's loud boos. There's loud, hey, what is going on here? And I was listening to a different podcast of a different team, and even they were saying, like, there are times when the refs will put their hand up. They don't even see the play. They just see player on the ground, high, first line player, and then they'll call a trip and will not even have eyes on the actual trip. Saw that last night, and it's like, man, not telling you how to do your job, but, like, those are brutal for both teams whenever they're called.
Yeah, it was just a tough second period. And we'll talk about that last penalty on the Stars in the third period once we get there. But beloved Colin Blackwell, our guy, Love Colin Blackwell. He had a really good first period. You could tell he had a little bit of jump, a little bit of offensive juice. Obviously, he hits the post on a little backhand screamer there. That was fun. He does it again. He's just trying to dodge and dive through the defense. He gets a little desperation dive to kind of put a little bit on the puck there, sweeps his stick, hits the puck up a little bit. It goes into Aiden Hill, and there's a little bit of a rebound chance. And shout out to Oscar Beck. This is one thing that the Stars do really well. There's usually a trailing guy when someone has the puck. And that's what I really liked about Pete DeBoer's system is there was always a guy following the guy with the puck that on your team, right? Just in case something went awry, there's someone behind. Oscar Beck did a really good job of that. Saw Colin Blackwell streaking down. He puts in a little bit of hustle behind it. He's right place, right time, gets the rebound, sends it into the back of the net. You got a tie game. It was about 10 minutes after the Jack Eichel goal. And like you said, the crowd was really good last night. You know what it started with, Dom?
What did it start with?
The national anthem. So you had a decent first Stars part of the chant in the national anthem. You're like, yeah, that's normal. That was a normal Stars chant. And then there was a handful of Knights people in the crowd, Golden Knights fans, and they say Knights when they say Knight in the Star Spangled Banner. And it was kind of loud. And Stars fans kind of just started, it was a big groan during the anthem after the Knights happened. And the next Stars chant was louder than I've heard one since the playoffs last year. Thought that was really good. And you had immediate crowd pops in the game with a hit, with a cleared puck, with something getting into the zone, with a shot on goal, with a good save from Jake Ottinger. And then obviously the penalties on the refs, you heard it from them with the lack thereof. The Michael Bunting hit in the first period, you heard the crowd get into it. Thought the crowd was really good. Then Oscar Beck scores that goal. Puts it in the back of the net to make it a tie game 10 minutes after the Jack Eichel goal. And that crowd was really, really, really good last night. That's something I want to hear every night heading into the playoffs. We're about a month out and some change from the playoffs starting. I need that crowd every night. I don't care who we're playing. I don't care what happens in the game. I need that crowd every single night because that was a really good crowd last night.
Yeah, and especially with this home stretch that they're on right now, there's no better time to be just giving it to the opposing team. Then some of these teams are going to come into Dallas. And I think it was a huge factor. You have to ask the players, but I think they felt that noise echo in AAC.
Yeah, I would assume so. We didn't really ask Goalie about the crowd last night because if you ask him about it, he's like, oh, we needed that energy. We love that energy from the crowd. So if anyone did ask him about it last night, I was in the room. I don't think anyone said anything about it, but that's what Goalie was thinking. I bet you 100% when that crowd starts popping in the first period, he's like, crowd energy. Love it. Then you get about 4 minutes later, you're on the power play again for the third time in the period or second time in the period, actually. And the power play I thought was fine last night. I didn't think it was necessarily really bad. Like we've seen it just being disjointed without Mikko, without Rope, without that top unit completely full together. Because you're seeing Jamie Benn, Matt Duchene slip in there, and it's still fine. And they're scoring power play goals, which is good. This one was a pretty good power play, and I was texting Reagan and Ben, Stars Countdown, and Reagan Huggins last night, and we were like, and Reagan goes, how is that not a penalty on the hit on Wyatt Johnston in the slot? Because he's hitting him before the puck gets there, kind of a cross check into the back. Wyatt gets a little bit of a stick on it, and it just kind of knuckles in the air. Jamie Benn is known for baseball bats, apparently, because he does this baseball bat goal 3 times a season, it feels like, for the last 5-10 years. Like, he just bats one out of the air all the time. Does it again on a little bit of a knuckleball, redirects it to the far side. Jamie Benn power play goal for his 12th of the season. Wyatt Johnston's 34th assist, Matt Duchene's 18th assist. You take the lead there 2-1 on the power play. That's 10 straight games in a row that the Stars have scored a power play goal, which is the longest streak that they've had, I think, since like 2006. They're also on their longest point streak since, or I think that time frame as well, 13 games in a row with the point. So hell of a goal there from Jamie Benn on the power play. You needed it because you were 1 for 5 on the power play last night.
Yeah, and Vegas played the corners well on the PK for them. But yeah, I love this kind of alley-oop, like quick thinking from Jamie to send that goal in. But the unsung hero of this power play was Miro Heiskanen. Miro Heiskanen had the puck on his stick and made some incredible moves to get people open. And I don't think he ends up on the scoring sheet on this one just because of how the pinball scenario happened. But boy, did he look good setting up that play.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I definitely forgot. Miro Heiskanen had two incredible plays on this power play where the puck got cleared on one from a Vegas stick and it didn't get cleared. It didn't get past Miro Heiskanen. He made a pretty good save there to keep it in on the blue line. And then another one was a kind of I think a wild pass from someone in the corner, just trying to get it back over to Miro, not knowing where Miro was. Makes a little bit of a desperation kind of slide over there and keeps the puck in. He kept the puck in twice and two huge moments to keep the momentum on the ozone pressure. And yeah, he did a hell of a job setting up that power play. And then obviously Matt Duchene in the corner gets it over to Wyatt Johnson in the slot where we feel really comfortable. Obviously, like, hey, you get the puck over to Wyatt in the slot, it's going to work. And it kind of did. It just didn't look normal, right? Because Wyatt got cross-checked in the back before the puck got there. Gets a little bit of a stick on it. It elevates. That was the key there. And then Jamie Benn redirects it with a little bit of a baseball bat swing. Jamie Benn celebrated like kind of hard. Yeah. That was a big celebration out of Jamie. You don't see that until like the playoffs usually. So good one for Jamie there. He was excited to get a PP goal. You go 2-1 into the third period. And then the third period, we're a minute and a half in. And Justin Ritzkovian gets called for tripping. And the crowd lost it on this one. There was a refs you suck chant going throughout the entire arena. It wasn't just like a section, like the arena started doing it minutes after this penalty happened, like even after the power play ends for Vegas. Jack Eichel he blew a tire is really all it was. And Justin Ritzkovian kind of had his hand on his back. So he's pushing him right. And he's trying to create some pressure, just like a normal hockey play. Eichel blows a tire and the ref that's directly watching the play does not call the penalty. It is the ref from the other side of the ice that calls the penalty. That's some NBA level type of shit because that happens all the time in the NBA where someone calls a foul from the other fucking side of the court and you're just like, what are we doing? Like the guy that's looking directly at it was like, yeah, not a foul. And then this other guy over here calls it. That's what happened last night. The other ref calls it from the other end of the ice and everyone let them know it. Everyone, the Stars bench, the Stars players, and the Stars crowd last night in AAC let the refs know it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the NBA. I got a chance to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder in person this year, and it is such a bad product when the other team is officiated so differently, and it's so obvious, but there's nothing you can do about it. But what's even worse is when I think this happened with Vegas, like they play to that, like that's a part of their game plan is to get those foul calls, and luckily, Dallas's PK was on one last night, and nothing crazy made of the bad ones. But like, brother, like, how many times are we going to see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander be at the free throw line when he's not even trying to score? He's trying to draw the foul. Like, last night was that was the one that kind of set me off watching the TV. But like, there was so many calls throughout this game.
Yeah, I think there was maybe one penalty that you should have called on the Stars is the Liam Bichsel interference on Jack Eichel. Like that was enough to see like, okay, yeah, that can warrant 2 minutes. I think there was really only two penalties that you should have called on Vegas, and it was the high sticking ones. Like the rest of them, I don't think they should have happened the way the first period was called. At the end of the day, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you can't let everything go in the first period and then call everything in the second period. And then call that tripping penalty on Ritzy there at the beginning of the third period. They called a Jack Eichel for tripping later on in the period. And I thought that one was kind of tic-tacky as well. Like I just thought the refs were bad last night, inconsistent, if you will. But at the end of the day, the Stars get to 6-on-5, and this is where things get tight because we've seen the 6-on-5 recently, and we're not very excited about it. I was sitting there, I was like, damn, we really need it. Well, we did have a third goal that they ended up calling back, and then we went on the power play right after. They called Jason Robertson for kicking.
Yeah.
I don't know if he kicked I've seen a lot of goals like that stand in the NHL this year where you just guide the puck in with your skate. Like he was skating forward, but he turns his skate to guide the puck in. Wasn't necessarily a kick. It was more of a guide. They usually let that one in. They called that one off immediately. But 6-on-5. 2-1, terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fans could feel it, and the bench, like, if there was a chance to switch lines, they would have, because it was that last power play. It was that PK in the third period where I was like, boy, our PK unit looks gassed right now. And if we get to six, if they, I was counting down the minutes, and as we were getting lower and lower, I was like, they're gonna empty that net, and it'll get tight, and it sure did.
Yeah, they tried to pull Hill around 2 minutes and change, I believe, and then the Stars got the puck back, and it just got into the neutral zone. It wasn't anything, so Hill had to go back. Then they bring it back into the D zone, back into the neutral zone, back into the O zone for Vegas, and then he finally comes out. I was like, if we could just get one, just like one opportunity, I think they can do it, right? Wyatt Johnson gets that one opportunity, and it goes way wide left of the net, and you get an icing call. Horrifying that Jason Robertson and Wyatt Johnson, your offensive guys, were out there on the ice on 6-on-5. But goalie mentioned in the press conference last night that they had been playing against Eichel. Like that was their matchup last night. Is Robo and Wyatt, that line of Maverick Bork, Wyatt, and Jason Robertson were to be on the ice whenever Jack Eichel was on the ice, basically. And they did a good enough job. Like there wasn't a ton of crazy good looks from Vegas there 6-on-5. It was just terrifying that they weren't able to clear the puck or even get that empty netter or get a chance at an empty netter. Vegas did a really good job of that, but the Stars did a really good job clinching in there, pushing into the middle of the ice and making sure that nothing got through to Jake. And that's kind of what happened. The time ends up running out, and you go home 2-1, 13-1-1 since the fire sacrifice, a 13-game point streak, I believe now. So hell of a job from the Stars there. Great win, good win against the Vegas team, which is still a good Vegas team. I know they're not burning down the points, but they play a really good style of hockey that the Stars don't. And they outshot the Stars 27-16, but the Stars had the high quality chances. The Vegas Golden Knights had the quantity of chances. And I thought overall that was a pretty good game there from the Stars and a good gritty win.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like baseball when you might have 4 hits, but if a few of them are home runs, like that can make the difference. I mean, I can't remember the last time 16 shots were the totals for Dallas, but they've made all 16 shots feel high danger. And Otter faced a lot of pressure kind of in the second, third period, and he handled it very well. Once that goal went in, he kind of turned into Casey Smith and just locked it down. It was a great win, all things considered, with how this game was officiated, and loved how Dallas did not whimper from the physicality. They stayed there and they matched punch for punch, and our offense was able to find the spots they needed to.
Yeah, it was a hell of a job from Otter. I think they had maybe 4 or 5 shots on goal before that, or when that goal goes in. He faced 14 shots in the second, 9 in the third, and only one of them went in. Right, so
Yeah.
That's a hell of a job from Otter there. He was 22 of 23 on those saves, and then he had the other 4, obviously 27 shots on goal, 26 saves. So that's a game that you needed out of Otter. Michael Dixon, our friend over at the Ticket, lovely Michael Dixon, he tweeted this out last night. Just a ridiculous stretch of hockey for the Stars during the game point streak, 12-0-1, 63.4% of the expected goals, first in the NHL. 58.7% of the scoring chances, first in the NHL. 65.2% of the high danger chances, first in the NHL. 56.8% of the shots, third in the NHL. So even with the 16 shots on net last night, they're still third in the NHL in shots and on goal. And they're first in pretty much every other statistical category that you need to see. We also saw, I don't know if it was Michael or someone else, but someone tweeted it out last night. The Edmonton Oilers were one of the best teams in hockey at allowing the least amount of high danger chances. I think the Stars are like third right now in the NHL this season. The Stars were somewhere in the middle of the pack at allowing high danger chances. The Oilers made the finals the last 2 years. They were really good at not allowing high danger chances. This team's really good at not allowing high danger chances. And when they do let their goals in, like last night, wasn't a high danger chance. It was just a shot kind of from the red dot. Like it wasn't a shot that probably should not have gone in. The rest of the time, there weren't a ton of high danger stuff that Jake Ottinger had to save, and he did a really good job of that. So that's getting me excited for April. They're doing something they haven't done before, is winning games 2-1. They're winning games 5-4. They're winning games in overtime 4-3, and then you're winning the games in Western Canada 6-1. They're doing a lot of different ways of winning over this win streak and the point streak. So that stuff is exciting for the Stars.
Yeah, and I've been loving the defensive efforts from all the forwards. I've also been loving Matt Duchene has just found a feel for his game. Same with Colin Blackwell. Colin Blackwell and Maverick Borg, they are shot out of cannons. That neutral zone ice is eaten up by them on every night, and they've just the block shots have been there all season for this team, and it's created a comfortable scenario for Jake and Casey to play in net.
Yeah, it's impressive. That was the Stars' 90th point of the season. They're 5 points back of Colorado now, who lost last night, and then the Minnesota Wild are still 3 points back. Colorado's 7-3 in their last 10. Minnesota's 7-2-1 in their last 10, and the Dallas Stars are 9-0-1 in their last 10 on a 2-game win streak. It's looking good. That was their 20th home win of the season. They're 27-4 at home, 27-6 on the road. Yeah, I think the Stars team's just really good. Turns out it's a really good team.
Yeah, they find a way to get 3 periods of very good hockey.
It's good stuff. You see Miro at 53 points, Wyatt at 68, Mikko at 69 and hasn't played since before the Olympic break now. Jason Robertson at 74, and then you got Rope Hintz, who you're not going to get back until end of the regular season, it looks like, at 44. Matt Duchene's now at 30 points. He's creeping along. He's getting back up there into the points. He's close to a point per game player now after just like not scoring for a while. Maverick Bork's at 29, 10-19. Like it's a lot of points there from a handful of guys that you wanted to score a lot of points this season, and it just kind of excel in that category of playing this sport. And you're kind of starting to see it now here in March, and you'd rather play your best hockey here in March, April, May than in October. We've said that time and time again. We said that last year all on this podcast, and we're saying it again this year. We'd rather play our best hockey in the spring and the summer than play it in the fall and the winter.
And that's what it's looking like. I mean, we're coming down this stretch, and doesn't matter who's out. Like the Oscar Becks and the Sam Steeles are getting their 2 or 3 difference-making plays in the game that we need from them, and that 1% from everybody has definitely translated into positive hockey plays.
Well, we got one more game to talk about. Before we do that, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube at Clean Sheet Device. If you're an audio listener, like on Apple and Spotify, where we also have video on Spotify, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button there on those platforms, but also go hit it on the YouTube. You don't have to watch us on YouTube if you don't want to. If you'd rather listen to us in the car on your commute to work or on your way home from work, that's perfectly fine. We enjoy those and we love those just as much. But the YouTube, we would like to get to 500 subs. We're creeping along now. We're almost at 280 on YouTube. We'd love to get to 500 here before the playoffs start, because once we hit 500, we're going to do another giveaway. We're going to give away a mystery signed puck. I got to go get one of those either this week or next. But I'm going to get a mystery signed puck. We're going to give one of those away. And then hopefully in the future, we'll have another thing to give away here this month. We'll be able to add something to the mix here and add that to the giveaway as well at 500 subs. And then obviously, if we can get to 1,000 during the playoffs or before the playoffs, that'd be awesome, because we can do more giveaways. We'll give away the jersey at 1,000 subs. But then our channel is monetized, so we're able to make money, so we can give more things away for you guys, so we can go use that money to go get that jersey, to go get other things like that. That's the goal, is to use that money to get back to you guys. So we appreciate everyone that's tuned in on our YouTube or on audio platforms. Make sure you hit that sub button. Thursday night, tomorrow night, it's the Edmonton Oilers. We're on ESPN Plus and Hulu, so it will not be on Victory Plus, I don't think. So just remember that. The Oilers game will be on ESPN Plus and Hulu. Still in AAC. It's another Western Conference Finals rematch. The boys are buzzing. They beat Colorado last night. Edmonton did. They're still a really good team, no matter what their record says or anything like that. You're still dealing with Connor McDavid. You're still dealing with Leon Draisaitl. You're still dealing with Evan Bouchard, who's fucking raking up points right now. He's been incredible this season. It's still the Oilers. But you're playing the Oilers goaltenders. Go score some goals. That's my only thing. Just go score some goals and just see what happens. Your defense has been really good. Trust it. Go score some goals.
Who do you think goalie puts in net?
I think you ride Jake.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think you give him that, and then I think you give Casey the net on Saturday, and then you let Jake end it in the home stretch against Utah on Monday, and then you give Jake another chance against Colorado on the road next Wednesday.
Yeah, Jake or whoever's in net is going to get peppered with a bunch of shots. And Jake, I think it was last year, he was telling us, like, I would rather see 30 shots than see 10, because if I don't see a shot for a while, it's way harder to get back into cleaning every single inch of these pipes. So with that being said, I think Jake matches up better in this scenario. The last time they played, I believe it was Jake in net as well. No, it was Casey.
It was Casey, yeah.
Against Edmonton. But nevertheless, you get this AAC crowd going, and with the way these guys are playing and how well they've been on the forecheck defensively, I think you can get Wyatt and Matt early. I think you can get to a 3-1 type of game early, and then maybe an empty netter gets put in. I see too much good defense from Dallas, even with as good as offense is. Now, you made a great point. Bouchard has a clapper from the blue line. That's going to be something we have to defend well, but I still see Dallas taking this one in kind of a very comfortable affair.
Yeah, the last time we played them was Jamie Benn's first game back, right? Am I wrong? Or second game back maybe from a collapsed lung, and they went 8-3 with no Mikko Rantanen, who was on suspension, I believe, that game. And we just didn't see that game coming. I'm not expecting that. They've made some goaltender changes. Obviously, I think it was Jari last night got injured on Nathan McKinnon, which, hey, I said he was dirty. And then Colorado fans, there's 40-something comments on my TikTok where I clipped what we did yesterday and put it on my TikTok. Colorado fans, they gravitate in on any platform. They'll find you anywhere. They're going crazy. And then last night, the few Stars fans and Oilers fans started chirping in. They're like, turns out not great. He basically just bull rushed Jari last night. I know that Nurse comes in and kind of clips Nate a little bit, but the angle that Nate was taking was just directly at the goaltender. There wasn't changing that. And he tries to jump over him, but he decks his head and he has to come out. So now you're dealing with a little bit of goaltender injury there for Edmonton. Their defense hasn't been as good this year. They're allowing 4 goals a game, and the offense has to tick up a notch just to keep in the game. So that's why I'm saying just go score goals, because that defense is so good right now for the Stars, and you can trust it. If you can get that first goal, second goal in that first period, you can feel pretty comfortable heading into the second intermission and getting into the third period. Just go get a couple of goals in that first period, and things can snowball for this team against for the Oilers. And it can snowball on the Stars as well. They could just oh, that guy scored a goal. Let's just go score 17 more. That's what it feels like with this team right now.
Yeah, no, and if you can get this one and you continue this heater, I mean, I think they're at 40 wins now. It's not out of question. It kind of is, but you at least leave the door open to take over Colorado's position.
Yeah, I don't know what they are looking like for the schedule heating into next week. But you got Oilers, Red Wings, Utah to end the homestand, and then you play Colorado on the road on the 18th, which I'm considering doing a stream for. It's a TNT game, so it'll be a really late one. But considering doing a stream for that one, it's probably going to be close to a 9 p.m. puck drop. So let us know in the comments if you want us to stream during that game. Definitely considering it. A Saturday stream against the Wild, a little 3 p.m. action, I believe also on national television. No, it's on Victory Plus and also on Fox here in DFW area. So maybe we do a stream for that one as well on Saturday. It's just 3 p.m. game. Just a little bit easier, a little fun stuff on the Saturday. But we'll see. I'm definitely considering a stream for that Colorado game next week. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So we'll see. But Edmonton, Thursday night, do you have a score prediction?
I was thinking 4-1. I'll raise one more goal to Edmonton. I'll go 4-2 for the final.
I was there, but I wasn't. I'm 4-3. 4-3 Stars. I think it's another tight one there in the third period. I think they kind of creep back into it.
I would love to see an empty netter with how
just one, man.
gut-wrenching the 6-on-5 play has been the past couple weeks. I would love to see an empty netter hit the net.
That'd be huge. Would love an empty netter. That'd be awesome. Haven't seen one of those in ages. But that's it. Thursday, playing the Oilers. Good win against Vegas there. 13-1-1 since the fire sacrifice. 13-game point streak for the Stars, longest since, early 2000s, I believe. I think the franchise record is 15 games set in the year that they won the Stanley Cup in 1999. So we'll see what happens against the Oilers on Thursday. If you're in the building, let me know. I'll be there. That's it. Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube or wherever you get audio platform podcasts like Apple, Spotify, anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button there. Hit us up on YouTube. We want to do another giveaway, mystery signed puck, plus hopefully something else. We'll let you know on that as we get through the month of March. But hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back on Friday with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.